When the Son of Man said it's good for you to have a wife, he wasn't lying. There's nothing wrong with having a wife, especially if you can't overcome those urges that, us men have to go through. But if you want to walk with the Son of Man and be like him, you got to come out of everything. Leave the world, leave these women behind. You can't be dealing with these lusts no more. And that's not an easy task. That's not something you could just pick up and walk with, You can't just pick up your cross and walk like that without being tried. You got these worldly spirits and these archons and their constructs that they set up, and these demonic powers that constantly want to allure you to do more sins and lusts and be entangled with these things. And, the feeling that comes with it, So obviously it's not easy to go against the grain and flee everything and actually walk with the Son of Man. It'll lead you down some dark paths. Man, you'll be tried. You'll be questioned by spirits here. You'll be questioned by spirits on the higher ups. You'll be a spectacle because you're going against the grain. And most men cannot fulfill this without, depleting themselves. You carry some of your old self to this new walk, but the old you has to completely get shut off. You know what I'm saying? You had some good qualities in you, so that's why I said not without completely depleting yourself. But most of that old you, the old baggage has to go, and that's part of becoming homeless and walking with the Son of Man and not trusting in the world, but actually leaning on that spirit that guided you from day one, because it wasn't our parents or, any one person that played a major influence in our life coming up. Everyone had a season with us, they walked with us for a time, and we learned what we learned from them, and then we moved on. Even in relationships, we added on to other people, they added on to us, and that was kind of part of the walk. You can never get too comfortable down here when you're doing this work. Not every righteous man is meant to be called to be an elect. If you're going to be elect, you got to be like a virgin, not dealing with women. It's that type of dedication that's going to lead you to that type of awakening, because it's a spiritual awakening. You're not going to be able to deal with this type of wisdom while you're with women, while you're considering the thoughts of other people, like women and children. You may have children. I have children. I have 3 kids, 3 different mothers. You understand? A 14-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And they're all unique in their own ways. And they're all elects. They're all chosen. They're all children of the kingdom. You understand? I taught them in their youth. I kept them together. They all know each other. And my sins was my sins back in the days of the past, and those are the things that I came out of. I'm no longer that type of man that I used to be, obviously. I'm walking in new ways, but this was always the anointing that was in me. That's what the children of the mother of my children seen. You understand? It wasn't just reckless dealings and getting someone knocked up. I knew each and every one of my kids' moms, my children's mothers, and I walked with them, and I had relationships with them for a season, and I still maintain a cordial relationship with all 3 of them to this day, even though we're not together. But my path is my path, and I have awakened them to the spiritual world, the realities of the spiritual world, and the things that are going on in the Matrix while I walk with them, as I did with many other women that I have relations with. There's many women that I have relationships with that I never even slept with. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with many, many women. It ain't get no further than a kiss. Some didn't even get to the kiss. You know what I'm saying? But what happens with each one of these relationships is me trying to mold them into the woman that I want, the woman I need spiritually. Not me accepting them as who they are in the world, but they wanted me for who I was in the world, and they that anointings that I had, that fatherly figure, that masculine figure, they wanted that. You know what I'm saying? They were yearning for that. But, you know, I wasn't complete in my walk, and I wasn't complete in my discipline. So that's what led, you know, many things not to happen. You know, everything doesn't happen the way we think it's gonna happen. You know, the spirit understands most, and we kind of just go with the spirit. But when we start to add on these other things that we learn from the world, that's when, you know, shit get fucked up. And, you know, many trials and errors is gonna get you to understand that. And so, you know, a man in his 20s is not gonna understand what I'm understanding right now, here at the age of 36, entering my first year to my ascension period. You know, you're really still going through your trials and your pre-tribulation, your tribulation period. When you're a man, you know, going from a teenager to up until you're 36. These are your trials, you know, tribulation, your pre-tribulation period, you know what I'm saying? Where you have to go through experience, you have to go through the fire and be tried to reach this level. You don't qualify to be a 144 if you're not at a certain age, you understand? Your ministry that hasn't even started. You're still being tried by the spirits. So, certain wisdom, esoteric knowledge can only come from the ones that have been proven by the spirit, and that's evident. And there's no knock to the younger men that are on this path. They're understanding, but you got to understand that it takes time to separate from women. You know, it's not easy. I'm still coming out of that completely. You know, even though I came out of it physically, spiritually, it's still not all the way out. Where I'm completely looking at a woman as my sister and not, you know, a potential wife. You know, when you can see a man and woman as just that spirit, you know, your brother or your sister, then you know you're complete. You're one with that spirit. And that's the goal I'm heading towards. I'm not looking for a wife. I'm not looking to make more children. I have a son and I have 2 daughters. They could be my prosperity. You know, the fornications and the things that I was entangled with. I don't deserve to be able to procreate more kids and make more kids. As many women I dealt with, laid down with, and had got to experience, I got enough experience. You know, anything else beyond that is just pleasurable, and thus, you know, sinful. You know, so 8 minutes. I've been talking for a long time. Rise and shine. You know, it's a Sabbath. The spirit is definitely resting on her children right now. You know, it's not a time to be closed lips. You know, open your mouth, speak the truth. Encourage one another in this walk. You know, it's not easy. We're all alone out here, but in the spirit, we're all together. So until we meet, you know, heaven and earth again, spirit and flesh, this is how we'll communicate. And it's efficient for now, you know. Works for me, works for you. It is what it is. Shalom.